Good morning. The Circuit Court of the 19th Judicial Circuit is in session. I am Judge George Ortiz. Welcome to my June 218 Case Management Conference call. I just have a couple of brief announcements before we get started here. First, these remote proceedings are the new normal for us, and so I ask for your patience as together we learn to navigate this platform and to conduct these proceedings remotely. If you haven't already done so, please make sure to rename yourself so that your case number and name appear on the screen. That way the clerk and I will know who's here, and this will help us manage the call more efficiently. Please keep yourself muted also until your case is called. Once your case has been called and your matters have been concluded, kindly leave the meeting. If you wish to continue to watch the proceedings, you can do so through the other link on the website. As a reminder, if agreements have been reached before the court date, you may submit agreed orders to the cc304@lakecountyil.gov email address. Please don't wait until the day before, however, because our clerks are being inundated with orders and other matters that are being emailed, in addition to their being required to handle and process the orders that are being generated through our regular court calls. My clerk, as you probably noticed, is participating with us via Zoom. You may wish to communicate with her to let her know that you have another Zoom meeting, for example, or a hearing that you have to attend, and letting her know when you will return. And she may be chatting or trying to chat with you via the chat function on Zoom in order to, for example, obtain your ARDC number or to help figure out which case you're here for. And she will use the chat function. That's the small icon that looks like a comic book dialogue bubble to send you a private message. So be sure to look to see if you have a chat waiting to be opened. Please do not use the chat function to try to communicate with me, as that would be an impermissible ex parte communication. Now you are required to submit an order. Please submit your order to the cc304@lakecountyil.gov email address before 1 p.m. this afternoon. Please submit the proposed order in the Word format so that I may make any necessary edits. Be sure, of course, to include your ARDC number on the order. That said, I'm going to call the cases in the order in which they appear on the court call. I would like you, for those cases in which we enter a 218 order, to schedule a subsequent case management conference on a Tuesday or Thursday at 9 a.m. shortly after the defendant's Rule 213 witness disclosure deadline. And next month, beginning next month, I'm going to modify my 218 track sheet to provide those dates. But again, I ask for your cooperation with respect to the 218 orders that we enter today. This court does not approve of the Cook County version of a HIPAA order. We expect to have the Lake County standing HIPAA order very soon, hopefully by the end of this week or sometime next week. So please be on the lookout for that as well. In addition, you may consider visiting my webpage as well as that of the other judges to look for standing orders, and we're going to have some new protocols and standing orders pertaining to bench trials. Okay, so please be on the lookout for that as well. That said, thank you again for your patience and consideration here. Yes. Oh, let's see here. Just for a moment.
It shows live, but it's not. I'm not getting anything.
Pertaining to bench trials. Okay.
You're getting
So please be on the lookout for that as well. Yep.
Okay.
Okay.
Sorry about that. I don't know why my address on it.
Okay. First case is 20ED05, Department of Transportation. I think it's Mr. Locascio, right?
Good morning, Judge. Mark Locascio on behalf of IDOT.
Yes, good morning. How are you?
Morning. I hope all is well. This case is up for 218 case management. I just talked to my opponent this morning, Mr. Cacciatore, and I will be filing now we're up and running, a motion to set a quick take hearing in the next week or two. I was wondering if we can get maybe your next 218 management date next month to continue this over, just to keep things live at this point. And I'll be filing that motion hopefully next week or two.
Certainly. So July 8th would be fine for the continued 218 conference. Would you like me to provide a couple of possible dates for the quick take hearing?
Let me talk to Mr. Cacciatore. We're going to have maybe 5 witnesses on this, Judge. So I think let me talk to him in the interim. I'll file the motion. Hopefully I'll have some dates available, and hopefully that'll work with the court.
Yeah, I'd be pleased to accommodate you one afternoon. I prefer to do that if you're going to have 5 witnesses.
Okay, wonderful. Would that be at 11 o'clock, Judge, on the 8th, or would that be at 9 o'clock?
Corey, should we do 11 or 9?
On which day?
On July 8th, our 218 call.
Let me see how late it is. We're at 20.
20?
Yeah.
Is that all right?
Yeah, I think that's fine.
Okay, 9 o'clock, July 8th.
Thank you, Judge.
Thank you. 20L46, FedEx Trade Networks versus CTI Industries.
Good morning, Your Honor. Jamie Burns on behalf of the defendant, CTI Industries.
Good morning, Judge Mark Signick for the plaintiff.
Good morning.
Your Honor, I filed a motion for extension of time and to vacate technical defaults, asking through today to file my answer to the complaint. That answer is ready, and I don't believe there's an objection from counsel, so I would be seeking leave to file that today.
Oh, certainly, that will be approved.
There's no objection.
Okay. So, let's see, this is an alleged breach of contract action. Counsel, you're going to be filing an answer?
I will be filing an answer, yes.
Okay. All right. So then track 1, track 2, which would you prefer?
Counsel and I had discussed track 3, but if Your Honor is preferable to having us on track 1 or 2, I would ask for track 2.
I mean, track 2, unless, track 3, I usually reserve for more complex cases or cases in which there is a significant amount of medical treatment. So if if there's a compelling reason, then that's fine. But if not, then track 2 would be fine.
Track 2 is fine with me, Your Honor.
Okay, fantastic. Then, counsel, you're going to submit the order, and see you next time.
Thank you, Judge.
Okay.
Very well, Judge. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. (20L57) Maldonado versus Conway.
I do not have anybody second on that yet.
Okay, we'll pass this one. 20L70 Devon Bank versus Villafuerte.
Morning, Your Honor. Michael Furlong for defendant Waukegan.
Morning, Your Honor. Laura Scary for defendant Officer Villafuerte.
Good morning.
Your Honor, may I just interject, and please accept my apology. I have a hearing disability, and I compensate for that by lip reading. And so I can hear most of what you say, but I'm guessing for a lot of your conversation. So I apologize, but I need to see your lips.
Well, counsel, no apology is necessary, and as a matter of fact, I have a little bit of a of a hearing impairment myself.
Okay.
No apologies necessary. And so we have there's a 2615 motion I see that was filed on behalf of the officer. And who has the plaintiff here? Am I missing someone?
Judge, Julie Goodwin at Lovey and Lovey is the attorney handling the case for plaintiffs so far. Counsel for Officer Villafuerte and I had a conference with Ms. Goodwin yesterday, and she sent in an email to the clerk advising that we agree to track 2, and we have an agreed briefing schedule on the motion to dismiss. And that motion to dismiss was actually first filed by City of Waukegan and joined by Officer Villafuerte.
Okay, so you do have a briefing schedule. Did you select a hearing date, or you were probably following the protocol that states that the default option is that the court will rule on the briefs? Is that what you were considering?
Judge, I don't object to the court ruling on the briefs. So unless counsel for Officer Villafuerte has a different idea, if you have questions, we can certainly appear for a hearing, but I don't need one.
Let's do this. Let's set the matter for a hearing. And if I don't think one is necessary, I will inform you ahead of time, okay?
I'm good with that.
Very good, Your Honor.
So your briefing schedule would take you out to when?
The reply in support of the motion we've agreed will be filed on or before June 29. So second week of July, Your Honor, if that's available.
Certainly. How's July 9th for a hearing?
That works for me, Your Honor.
That works for me as well.
Fantastic. Then July 9th at 9:15, courtesy copies a week in advance, please. Now, I note that there's an attorney for the bank, Mr. Hofeld. Have you been in communication with his office?
Judge, Mr. Hofeld is co-counsel with the Lowy firm and hasn't participated actively in the case. So I don't think that he's coming at it from any different angle than the Lowy firm.
Okay, great. Then I guess we have everyone that we need, and look forward to possibly seeing you back on July 9th.
Very well.
Thank you, Judge. One other question. This is my first time doing this. We selected track 2 based on the assumption that, the trial date would be sometime in 2021 in the summer. Is there a way we could access the track sheet? I don't have that.
Yes, and you know what? Starting next month, we're going to be posting those, or at least I'm going to be posting the track sheet also on my webpage. But yeah, we would be glad to email that to you. Okay.
Thank you, Judge. So we will email the agreed briefing order or briefing schedule and track order once we receive it, the track sheet from the court.
Fantastic. Before you leave, let me just ask my clerk a question. Corey, is there a way for you to share the track sheet?
Yeah, I can probably pull that up.
Let's see if she can share.
It's gonna be a little difficult. Let me see if I can shrink it.
Okay.
Okay, so.
It might be a little hard to read, but this is new for us too.
Okay, are you seeing it?
Can you see it?
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
You folks able to read it?
Yep.
Yes.
Awesome. Thank you, Corey. That's great. And then that way that'll cut down on some of the emails for her too.
Great. Thank
That's
you, Your
great.
Honor.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you. 20L74 Vignocchi versus Nowakowski.
Good morning, Judge Barry Silva for the plaintiff. This case, we had to file this case right before the statute ran because the plaintiff was treating up until last November. And the statute was running in February. We have not attained service yet. And the defendant is insured by State Farm. And I'd like to have until August 20th, if I could, to either settle the case or issue a summons and get service.
Well, I certainly encourage you to have settlement discussions, but you should issue a summons sooner rather than later. So I see the matter was filed on February 3rd.
Right.
So, you know, there's a Rule 23 ruling out of the second district a couple of days ago regarding this type of matter. So you might want to take a look at that. So what I'm going to do is this. Today is what? Today's the 10th?
Yes.
I'm going to schedule the matter on July 14th for status of service, status of settlement, and case management conference.
Status of service, status of settlement, and the 218.
Correct. 9
Okay.
o'clock, July 14th.
7/14, Judge.
Yes, sir.
I have it.
All right. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. Have a good day.
You too. Thank you. 20L78, Kumiak versus Vaudry.
Yes.
Good morning. And who is present? This is 20L78.
Good morning, Your Honor. Manaz Pan on behalf of the plaintiff. Your Honor, counsel can't be here as he's in a deposition. And counsel and I spoke yesterday about entering a 218 case management order for track 2.
Okay, and you represent whom?
The plaintiff.
Okay, I note that it appears there are 4 corporate entity defendants. Does counsel represent all of those defendants?
Your Honor, is this on case 2020 L78?
You know what? It's 20L78, but there was looks like there was a 19L78 that was misfiled. That's what I was looking at. So that might explain why what I said wasn't making sense. Let's see here. Yeah. Okay, so who is on the other side here? It's a Brian Hadley, is that right?
Correct, Your Honor.
And which track were you requesting?
Track 2, Your Honor.
Okay, that's fine, and please set that subsequent 218 date as I requested, okay?
Okay, Your Honor. Thank you.
You're very welcome. Do you need anything further?
No, Your Honor, that'll be all for today.
Thank you so much.
All right, have a great day.
Thank you. Same to you. 20L95, Thomas versus SS Gas.
Good morning, Your Honor. James Kenzio on behalf of K&B Oil. I don't think that the plaintiff's counsel is going to make it. He's having some technical difficulties. I think he's out of the office trying to utilize his phone at this point in time.
Actually, Jim, I just got in, Jim.
Oh, there you go. Okay.
But thank you.
Well, thanks for joining us, counsel. So this matter I see was transferred from the Circuit Court of Cook County. Is that right?
That's correct. It's a premise liability case. we had done some extensive motion practice. One of them was a forum non, whether it would go to a different county. That's why it's in Lake. And then there was an additional party that I eventually let out after some briefing on the issue.
Okay, was a jury demand filed in Cook County?
Yes.
Yes.
I don't know if you're aware of this, but the jury demand does not transfer here. So you would be required, anyone desirous of a jury trial is required to file a jury demand here and to pay the requisite fee. And I'd certainly allow, if you want 7 days or 14 days to do that, that's fine.
I will, you know what, Jim, I'll make sure, I'll take care of it. I'll get it done in the next 7 days.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, are we in a position to set a enter 218 order today?
Yeah, your counsel and I spoke, by the way, Todd Rotman, I represent the plaintiff. Counsel and I spoke about taking track 3, the longest track, just extensive medical. He already has about $1,000 in medical and has another surgery or 2 scheduled in the near future. And I get worried about him not being done treating when it comes around for a sooner trial date.
Okay, that's fine. Just one question. Do we have all of the parties in the case now?
Yes, we do.
All right. That's fine. So then track 3 is okay. Let's have a subsequent 218 then in January. So in January, we could make it the 14th.
That works with me, Your Honor.
That's fine, Your Honor.
All right, very good. Do we need anything further?
No, that was it. Thank you very much, Your Honor.
Yeah, thank you, Your Honor.
Welcome, thank you. $20L99 Tutela versus Oberheim.
Good morning, Your Honor. Mark Van Donselaar on behalf of the defendant Gisela Oberheim. Your Honor, I'm not sure if counsel for the plaintiff is going to be with us, but we had a chance to speak earlier this week and come to some agreements. This is a case involving the sale of real estate, and there's allegations regarding fraud, regarding disclosures that were made as part of that sale. So I have a motion up for, it's a 619 motion that we need to enter a briefing schedule on. Counsel and I have discussed that and agreed to 28 and 14 to brief that out. So then we would just be looking for a hearing date if Your Honor wants to set one. And recognizing that you might just rule on the briefs, but it sounds like you want to still put the hearing date out there.
Yes, good morning, by the way, Mr. Van Donselaar.
Yeah, good morning, Your Honor. Sorry for just jumping in here.
Oh, no, you said good morning earlier, but I didn't respond because I thought we might have another attorney speaking, so that's fine. But yes, let's do that. Let's set a hearing date. If I decide that I do not require, will not require oral argument, I will let you and Mr. Salvi, I think it's Michael Salvi, know in advance, okay? But let's plan on it. And so the briefing would take us out to when?
July 22nd.
Okay, so then I can hear this on July 30th. How's that?
I have a conflict that day, actually. I need to be in another courtroom, another county. Could we maybe go the next week?
You could, or are you available July 28th?
Yes, that looks like it would be a good date.
Okay, so if you get me the briefs as soon as possible, right? The replies due the 22nd. Make sure I have everything right away, then I'll be able to read it and we could proceed on the 28th. And so that'll be at 9:15 and we will have a case management conference if necessary.
Okay, that sounds good. Does the order, so the order doesn't need to reflect anything other than the response, reply, hearing date, and the subsequent 218?
That's correct.
Okay, well, very well. I will submit that order then.
Okay, thank you, counsel. Nice to see you.
Thanks, Judge.
20L111 Garcia Fanjul versus TN Care LLC. I think we have someone on court call.
Yes, that's me. It looks like we did this before we found out about the Zoom.
That's all right. Glad you're able to join us.
Thank you. Joshua Rubin on behalf of the plaintiff. On this matter, nobody's appeared yet. We served 2 of the 3 defendants. It's my belief that the 3rd defendant was not in, it's a nursing home care act case, that the 3rd defendant was not in control of the nursing home. They purchased it later. I'm just waiting for somebody to appear for TN Care LLC in order to make sure that my assumption is correct on that. What I'd like to do is, if the court's amenable, take this 30 days, and either I'll file a motion for default, or hopefully in that period of time, I'll get in touch with whoever is going to be representing TN Care LLC.
And that's fine, counsel. How's July 9th?
July 9th, is there any way we could, what time on July 9th? In the morning?
Yes, 9 o'clock.
Yeah, that should be fine, Judge.
All right, so July 9th then, case management conference. Status of, did you say you're trying to serve one more defendant?
Yeah.
Okay, so status of service, case management conference, July 9th at 9 o'clock.
Thank you, Your Honor.
You're welcome. (20L116) Brown versus Calamina Properties LLC.
Good morning, Your Honor. John Manny on behalf of the plaintiff.
James Kenzior on behalf of the defendant, Your Honor.
Good morning.
This is a premises case, Judge, with shoulder injuries, a surgery in the knee. I'm leaning more towards a track 2 or 3. There is fairly extensive treatment with treaters in Illinois, Hawaii, and Colorado. So there may be some delays in getting DEPs done, but I think 2 or 3 is appropriate for this case.
Mr. Kenzior, what's your pleasure?
It's either 2 or 3. I would like to take the longest time just in case we have to move beyond and move further into litigation and take depositions out of state. Like you said, I think there are some Colorado medical doctors, and there's a physical therapist, I believe, in Hawaii.
Maybe you would have to travel to Hawaii.
Maybe we could do it by Zoom. I'm not sure.
Okay. That's fine. Let's do track 3, and please schedule the subsequent 218 as I requested.
That was after the defendant's disclosure, correct?
That's correct.
Thank you.
Okay. Do you need anything further?
No, both parties the complaint's been answered, and we're working on answers to written, so we're trying to get the case moving.
Okay, good. I see you responded to the affirmative defenses as well.
Correct.
Okay. Thank you, gentlemen.
Thank you.
Yes.
(20L127) U.S. Bank versus toll cars.
Yes, Your Honor. Good morning. Charles A. Walgreen appearing on behalf of the plaintiff.
Good morning.
Good morning, Judge. On this matter, Your Honor, Jeffrey Tokars is deceased, so I'd be seeking to dismiss him as a party defendant without prejudice. We've not effectuated service over Valerie at this time, so I'd be seeking to have an alias summons issued. I'd like to come back. Did you say Tuesday or Thursday is when this call is heard, Judge?
Sure.
Okay. If I could come back then on, bear with me just a moment, my apologies.
Okay.
August 18th.
That'll be fine. August 18th at 9 o'clock.
I'll submit an order. Thank you, Judge.
Very good. Thank you. 20L 137, LSC Communications.
Good morning, Your Honor. Jeffrey Widman on behalf of LSC Communications. We have not effectuated service yet over Walters Kluwer. We're having some issues with the Cook County Sheriff. The case was filed right before COVID hit, so we'd be asking for an alias summons as well as a special process server be appointed and then come back sometime in August.
So I see that this was actually the Lake County Sheriff that attempted service. The defendant is located in Riverwoods in Lake County. So, and that's fine. So alias to issue, you wanted to return when? Well, do you have a motion for special appointment of special process server, or?
I'm orally moving to appoint that, Your Honor.
Well, and who's the special process server?
Well,
I need a written motion. You want to, if you want, we can get you on the call tomorrow or, you know, next week.
well, okay. Well, we would need time to bring that, so I guess we would ask to get on the call next week for that.
Okay, how about the 18th?
18th that works, Your Honor.
Okay, so fantastic, 9 o'clock on June 18th. You can file your motion for appointment of a special process server and we'll go from there.
Okay, thank you, Your Honor.
MR 135, Waukegan Park District versus Jones.
Ed Hennessy, I'm counsel for Waukegan Park District. Pete, you need to unmute.
Mr. Schlax, you need to unmute. Can we unmute him? Can I unmute him? Wait, let's see. Let's see.
There we go. Sorry about that.
Got it.
Peter Schlax on behalf of Shanton Jones. Good morning, Judge.
Good morning. So this is an administrative review case, right?
Correct. It's an appeal from the Workers' Compensation Commission.
Okay, and the record appears to have been filed, and so you want to submit briefs?
Yes, so we basically want to set a schedule for briefs.
Okay. Are you going to need to retrieve the record?
Yes, I will need to retrieve the record. I don't know how that's done in these days, whether I physically need to do that or whether it can be emailed, but we're looking into it.
Well, you know, the order will allow you to retrieve the record. You know, I guess you could talk to the people in the appeals division, right, Corey? Because they would handle that.
What are they looking for?
So they need a copy of the record.
They would have to talk to the records department down there.
Okay.
Files.
All right, records or files down in the circuit clerk's office, okay? But I will enter the order, or the order today will also reflect that council would be permitted to retrieve the record.
I think it's an electronic record now, isn't it? So that we'd have to have it printed, I think.
You know, I don't know how they're going to want to do it. The record, I have the physical file here. I'm looking at it right now.
Oh, okay.
Pretty.
Oh, okay. Well, then maybe the clerk already printed it out. I think the commission is ordered to submit their records to the clerk electronically now, if I'm not mistaken, but.
That could be, you know, we're in the middle of the implementation process for a new case management system. So we're still, you know, the paper record is still what we're working with here.
Sure.
So how far out do you anticipate the briefing will take us?
I could see us getting this done by August. Judge, I just scribbled down some dates. Ed, July 1st for your brief, July 15th for my response, July 22nd second for any reply, and then hearing maybe on Judge either July 28th or 30th.
The 30th would be fine.
Ed, is that enough time, you think? for
No,
your-
that's fine. I'm fine with those dates.
All right, great. Then let's set the matter for hearing, oral argument, July 30th at 9:15. Courtesy copies at least a week in advance. And also you're allowed to retrieve the record for purposes of copying the same.
Okay, Judge, thanks.
Okay.
Thank you, Judge.
Thank you. (20L21). This is it K-Mine?
Good morning, Your Honor. Terry Mueller on behalf of the defendants.
Good morning, Your Honor. Lindsay Suskin on behalf of the plaintiff.
Good morning.
This is up for a 218 conference call. Of course, it's a motor vehicle accident. Medical specials are about $40,000. Ordinarily, this would be a track 1 case with one complication unrelated to the case, but to myself. I do happen to be pregnant. I am due in November. And while part of track 1 works, because I'm the handling attorney and I don't have colleagues that can readily take on the case for me, I would kindly ask that beginning with defendants F3 disclosures, if we could perhaps bump the scheduling over to track 3. I'm only taking 8 weeks of maternity leave, and the track 3 schedule would line up pretty accurately with when I do return to the office.
Why, of course, counsel, certainly. That's fine.
Thank you very much.
Let's take track 3, and please schedule a subsequent 218 conference as I requested previously.
Definitely will do. And Your Honor, there's also a status hearing currently set by the court on July 14th in room C202. Would you like us to keep that, or would you like that stricken?
Oh, you could strike that, please. Thank you.
Okay, definitely will do. All right, thank you.
Okay, Mr.
Your Honor, when do you want us to return?
So let's see, the defendant's disclosure deadline, excuse me, is January 8th. So let's see, right after that. So you could take the 12th or the 14th.
January 12th.
Either is fine.
Okay, January 12th or subsequent 218.
Okay. And counsel, you prepare the order?
Absolutely. Will do, Terry.
Okay. Fantastic. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Your Honor.
Judge.
20L47, looks like Hernandez.
Yeah, Hernandez versus Tusuzo Galeri. Claimant, I represent the plaintiffs in this case. I thought defense counsel was going to be here, but apparently not. We have an agreement, and we're going to look to see, we still need service on one of the defendants, American Standard Limousine. And we were just looking if we could come back sometime, maybe, I think we talked about August 11th for status on service and completion of written discovery between at least the parties that are in so far.
Yeah, that's fine. August 11th is okay, 9 o'clock. 218 conference, or you want to enter well, we got to get the other defendant in.
Yeah.
So, we could let's do this, August 5th. I have another 218 call. How's that?
Okay. We'll do that. That sounds good.
Status of service 218, August 5th at 9 a.m.
Great. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay. Bye.
Recalling 20L57, Maldonado versus Conway. There was a motion for appointment of a special process server filed on May 26th. And
there was an call order entered for a process server, but yeah, I don't.
oh yeah, May 22nd. Right?
Yeah, I don't believe they struck the 218.
So let's place it on the July 8th, yeah, 218 call.
Okay.
Okay. What about this one Hope versus Lake Villa?
That was one I believe you already addressed. What was the case number?
20 MR 61.
Yeah, that one they did appear, but you had entered an order. That was the briefing schedule order that I just had you sign today.
Oh, okay, what's the hearing date?
Let's see.
Or is that when I said I,
For July 23rd.
okay, great. July 23rd. I have the courtesy copies here.
Yeah, I really do.
Okay. July 23rd. Are there any other matters that we need to call? Anything from the 9 o'clock?
Nothing, no one appeared on anything from the 9. I did, put them on the next call and we entered the WC on the line.
Okay, fantastic. Thanks very much. Court is adjourned.